Is Wednesday. We're so excited because this is the first edition of Miller Time.
It's Miller Time!
In 2014. Yes, she was down last week, my friends, but not out, much to the consternation of some of the supervisors she works with. But she's back, and she's ready to go. And we've got a lot to discuss as Allie Miller joins us in studio for Miller Time.
Thank you, James. It's great to be back.
Happy New Year, Allie.
Same to you.
It's good to see
Sorry
you.
I missed you last week, but we're back and we're up and
That's
running.
all right. We're ready to go. But before we get started, my sidekick is concerned because ever since we gave Jennifer her nickname, her circus nickname, which she wanted, Juggling Jennifer, she has not returned to the studio. Is it something that we have done, Allie Miller? What did we do to Juggling Jennifer that she is no longer part of the circus?
Juggling Jennifer has been kept very busy, but we will get Juggling Jennifer back.
Okay, so you're saying she's juggling.
She is juggling my office for me. So
excellent.
She's working very hard, and she's been putting in a lot of overtime. So to make sure we're staying on top of things. So as soon as we get a little more mellowed out there, the first of the year, being out sick, we'll bring Juggling Jennifer back into the studio. She loved being here.
We loved having her. We loved ridiculing her. We loved
her a hard time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Allie, you were out last week not only for Miller Time, but also for actually the voting.
It was my first. I had a perfect record last year, unlike all the other supervisors, and it was my first meeting that I missed. And yes, I was very sick, and it happens.
But
there were two press releases sent out.
Even in your sickened state, you still tried to participate in your duties, and somehow you were not afforded the same niceties as other people who haven't been there, who were sick or whatever, and were able to participate in the meeting. What was that all about?
Well, I tried to, I called in about 8 o'clock on Monday morning to tell them, my staff that, I'm not going to be able to make it in, get in touch with the clerk of the board. By the time they get in touch with the clerk of the board, and then it takes her time to get the notice, you have to do a 24-hour notice. It didn't get up until after 9:30. So as a result of that, the meeting starts at 9. Short meeting, pretty much was going to be over. So I wasn't able to participate via telephone because I believe, and I need to clarify this, but that they have now passed a rule that any supervisor can participate via telephone anytime for any reason if they are not able to make it to the meeting. I'm amazed that rule wasn't passed long ago. Had I known that wasn't passed long ago, because other supervisors have participated all year via phone, and I never saw a 24-hour notice.
So then
missed it.
How come the 24-hour notice got kicked in on you?
I don't know if that's standard policy or not, but I never saw it. They do post it downstairs, so I could have missed it. But, several other supervisors have participated via telephone. So to me, telephonically, you're a supervisor. You should be there any way you can. And I believe that is now the case. So, and if it's not, I'm going to clarify that is the case, that I will notify them every week, just in case I ever have to, you never know when you're going to have to travel out of town for a death in the family or whatever.
Yes.
And that happened to me, and I managed to get back here when I had a death in the family in October to be able to attend the meeting. But, things happen. So this to me is a no-brainer that there should always be that option that you should be able to participate online.
You didn't get a chance.
Telephone.
You didn't get a chance last week to celebrate with us as the board, Pima County supervisors, voted down the traffic cameras for Pima County. It was a great celebration. Celebration. I understand that Ray Carroll had a rousing speech, and it was just beautiful. It's beautiful because they voted right, and the cameras are gone. But they're not. We were told, we had KG9 up here, and the word was that the cameras were going to be dismantled and taken down by last week Friday, but they're still up. Allie Miller, what is going on? Because I'm feeling a little bit of unease.
As did I when I read the agenda item. And what it says is the board voted 4-0 on January 7th to shut down all 11 speed enforcement cameras. However, the supervisors directed Mr. Huckleberry to return to the board within 30 days with information about a more comprehensive county-wide traffic safety plan.
What?
Which could include school zones, target school zones, or mobile kiosks. And what that means is all of La Cañada where they built the new roads, they've all been pre-wired. So these cameras could be moved around mobily, was my understanding when I read the background material. So I did not, when everyone was saying this was a done deal, I went into this and I was prepared to vote on it, but I was going to ask a lot of questions about, is this it, or are we having mobile kiosks that are going to be put up? So I feel that it was, a done deal on that. So,
Allie Miller, are you telling me that when I celebrated the humans defeating the machines, that I was premature?
Yes. I'm saying that it's going to come back in 30 days with a more comprehensive countywide safety plan study. And one of the things, I was looking at the crash rates. If you look around the 11 camera locations, they only decreased 13%, but for the entire county road system, it decreased 19%. So those cameras had no effect on safety. Another thing was the severity of crashes at the 11 camera locations decreased less than 1%, while the severity of crashes system-wide around the whole county decreased 11%. So it isn't a safety impact. And then you get down to looking at the amount of money you get from the average ticket. $239 was the average ticket for between 11 and 15 miles over the speed limit. By the time you pay the state, by the time you pay ATS, Pima County ends up with $47 a ticket. So they originally started out as wanting this to be a revenue generator, and it shouldn't be. It should be about safety. And it didn't generate the revenue that they thought they were going to get. So end of the day, this is why this program is being re-examined. And I am absolutely against these photo enforcement cameras.
So are you telling me that this is the rise of the machines? Instead of it being the death of the machines, this is the rise of the machines? Are you suggesting that it could be possible that these things show up in a different way, a different form, a different entity in Pima County?
Absolutely. It says right here, this is a possibility. They were directed to go back and look at this for targeting school zones and also mobile kiosks.
Well, let me ask you a question, Allie Miller. If this does come back, will you be able to tell my audience if the county's share of the ticket goes above $47, if they end up in a renegotiated plan like $60 or $75, if the county ends up getting an increase in the take, will you let us know?
I absolutely will. I will have all that detail. And one of the other things that I wanted to find out that I wasn't able to get the detail on was I wanted to know the number of tickets issued and the number of tickets paid. I could not get that information because, as you know, when you get a ticket, you do not have to pay that ticket unless you're served in person. You reserve that right.
Right.
And how many people from out of state and out of the country have come in here and gotten these tickets and not paid them? And then the honest people are the ones that go in and pay them because they think they need to pay them without being served. You have the right to be served in person.
Right.
And so I tried to get that data. I was unable to get that before the meeting, but I will have that data.
Yeah, well, I would like to know that.
Yeah.
I would like to know that, maybe they could be part of the new tourist package that was going out here, as far as us being wacky, that we charge the hell out of naive people who don't know their ways around the wacky laws that are surrounding our red light systems here in the city and in the county.
Yeah, and I think it's just outrageous. There's a lot of we've had a lot of visitors and tourists that have contacted our office that have said, "I'll never come back to your town again. I was just driving down the street and I got a ticket, and they fined them a certain amount. One lady sent in, she got fined. It was a huge amount of money, and she underpaid by $5, and then they charged her a late fee.
See,
So this is the kind of thing we're doing to tourists.
if the county's take goes up in a renegotiated contract with these camera light people, I am going to lose my mind. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Allie Miller in studio. It's Miller time. More coming up here. You're listening to 104.1 The Truth. We are in the midst of a Miller time conversation with Pima County Supervisor Allie Miller. And I'm not sure, Ross, but I think in our last segment, we had a breaking news story.
The following is breaking news on the James T. Harris Show. I still haven't gotten paid yet, James.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm very upset.
I appreciate it, Tom. Breaking news story: the camera lights in Pima County voted on last week. Voted to be done. It's not done. It still may be alive. There may be a possibility that the machines will rise again, in a different form and a different reincarnation. But in order for this thing to be dead, we need to let your county supervisor know that you're not having it. You also need to call the sheriff's department and tell them you're not having it. As Supervisor Allie Miller just shared on this show, this is not about safety. The statistics do not support this being about safety. This is about revenue, generating revenue from you, the tax-paying members of this county. So give your supervisor a call. Allie, I don't want this. I don't want it. I'm letting you know right now.
I don't either.
All right? Okay? So I just told Allie, you need to call somebody other than Allie. We got Allie voting for us on this one. We need to call the other supervisors and call the sheriff's department and tell them, no.
You need to be strong, and we need a lot of people contacting every single supervisor office. And you can go to my website, AllieMiller.com, and you can find the information on there, how to contact all the supervisors. Call them, contact them, write them letters. Let's stop the madness, because it isn't about safety.
Allie Miller, you had an item on the agenda, appointments for the Pima County Fair Commission. Everybody loves the fair. People love the fair just like they love the circus. What was that all about?
Well, the Fair Commission is a pretty complex organization, and they run things like gun shows out there, and they have the fair, and it's their own independent organization. But each of the supervisors has an appointment to that Fair Commission. All year long, I have been trying to get the information. I tried to appoint someone early on; it was denied. And then I also tried to figure out, okay, there's a Southwest Fair Commission data behind the Pima County Fair Commission. So this is what governs it. It says you can appoint an appointee at will. So after going through many renditions of this and not getting answers, I left it on the agenda. I finally confirmed the Pima County Fair Commission and Southwest Fair Commission are one and the same. Mm-hmm. So I got that confirmed in the meeting last week. But we also need the rules for the Pima County Fair Commission that are back from 1974 say that you can only remove with cause. And the Southwest Fair Commission says you can appoint an appointee at will. In other words, whenever I get elected, I can put my appointee on. And I've been wanting to put a new appointee on because an individual who has served long and hard, but I want my own appointee. He's been on there 33 years.
Wow.
Isn't it nice to have new blood once in a while?
What do you think?
And so as a result of that, my office is meeting with the county attorney this week. We had the item continued, and we will finally find out what the rules are, one way or the other, or we will be voting on what the rules are in the next meeting to determine when I can appoint my own appointee to this board. But getting answers is extremely difficult, and I had to put this on the agenda to make sure I got the answer. And we will have the answer in the next meeting.
So whose feathers did you ruffle on that one?
I think it was something that has been in place for many, many years, and everyone's just kind of let it go. And a lot of the appointees just roll over year after year, and no one really had looked at it in a long time. So this is going to force them to look at it and force all of us to look at it and vote on it and determine what the actual rules are. Because every board and commission has a different set of rules. They're not all the same. Some have to be, in 4-year terms. Some are statutorily defined. Some are not. So it's kind of a difficult task to go through when they have incorrect data posted on the website, and you're trying to follow that, and you go to appoint somebody, and they go, "Oh, those aren't the rules. These are the rules." So we're going to get that straightened out so that we have once and for all files with accurate information on how to appoint people.
Some clarity, trying to bring some clarity to the situation.
Yeah, and that's what Jennifer the Juggler's been doing, is trying to get all of this stuff clarified. She met with a county attorney today to make sure that we are on.
So this is the stuff she's been juggling.
Yes, so
All
that's
right.
why she's been so busy taking
Well, if she was
care
a
of all
really
those
talented juggler, she could juggle that and also juggle herself down here to the studio. Tell her I said that.
She's been working a lot of overtime getting this stuff done. So,
Ali Miller, do we have an update on the Pima County suing Raytheon? I say the words, and I just have to. Wow.
No, we don't. I have heard nothing more. They are continuing down that path. I tried to get the Southern Arizona Leadership Council on board. They have decided they're just going to wait and let it settle out. And in my opinion, it's again sending a bad message and continuing to send a bad message to any business looking at coming into Pima County. Why we are continuing down this path is beyond me. But
has there been any conversation in the Pima County supervisors, maybe Elias, or is it Elias or Elias? Elias supervisor. Anybody talking about DM, the A10s? Any conversation? What?
I have heard nothing from them about that. No.
Okay.
As I told you earlier, we did have contact with Ron Barber's office. He said he was working with Senator, I think it's Kelly Ayotte from New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully, and then I understand, I tried to see if Flake's office or McCain's office.
He's not talking about that. Flake's not returning calls on that right now.
Yeah.
Maybe you can have a little bit, better luck with that. He's not returning my calls.
Yeah, we haven't had
ever
any.
since he voted against the A10 in the Ayotte. He's kind of checked out on that one.
Yeah. So it's really disappointing to me that we have Republicans that are not supporting our mission here, and Republicans that represent Southern Arizona.
Speaking of Republicans not representing stuff, there's something just went down yesterday at the meeting. Republican Ray Carroll, I'm confused. I have posted the video on my Facebook page for you want to see. You're in the middle of giving a passionate, you're speaking about an issue here, development in the community. And then all of a sudden, Ray Carroll gets up, and then Elias gets up, and then the next thing you know, when the vote is taken, Ray Carroll has changed his vote from last week. I want to get into this, Ali Miller. I want to know what is going on. I want to know what is it about this community where Republicans are acting like Democrats. Where are the people standing up? I'm thinking about Grand Canyon University being gone. I'm thinking about DM. Are you prepared to go into what happened yesterday?
Absolutely. I have all the details.
My friends, it's Miller time. Oh, we've missed you, Ali Miller. We've missed you. We're going to get into the vote that took place yesterday that is perplexing many people who were supposed to be in the know. You're listening to 104.1 The Truth. It is Miller time, my friends. You're listening to 104.1 The Truth. We have Supervisor Ali Miller in studio. And we're about... It's Miller time! Thank you very much, Ross. Thank you very much. Play that again. I like that. It tickles me.
It's Miller time!
Yes. Ali Miller, I've come to, I want to understand that well, I was told, because I didn't read it myself because I don't read these outlets anymore, but Christmas Eve and New Year's Day, you got attacked again in editorials from Emil Franzi.
Yeah, Emil's just a really cranky old guy.
I thought that he was recuperating. I thought he was like, he had major surgery and stuff, but he was recuperating. This guy this is the wrath of Khan, I'm telling you.
From hell's heart, I stab at thee. For hate's sake, I spit my last breath at thee.
He don't like you.
He doesn't like me, and I hope someone tells him that's not good for his psyche and it's not good for his health.
Yeah, he's supposed to be recuperating.
He needs to mellow and relax and just have a good time.
Have positive, happy thoughts.
Yeah, not negative valley thoughts. He should just forget that I exist.
I think that he would get better faster if he was, stop, stab at thee.
Yeah.
I spit that. Wow. Man.
On Christmas Eve and New Year's Day.
Right.
Come on, Emil. Don't you have something better to do?
It's 2014, baby. Everybody celebrate. It's happiness, new beginnings. Yeah, it's a new beginnings. Unity. What?
Be happy. Yeah.
Well, speaking of a unity, there's no unity
meeting
here in the Pima County Supervisors meeting. Last week, there was a vote that took place. It was, I think, zoning,
right,
for housing complex or what?
It was a rezoning that was on the agenda for 12 homes up in Catalina. So it wasn't a big rezoning, and it was unanimously approved by the
County
Planning
Development Service,
Planning and Zoning Commission, and also recommended for approval by the staff. And it was on the agenda. Unfortunately, I couldn't call in. So it automatically, what happened is Ray Carroll voted yes.
Wait a minute. If you would have called in last week,
I would have been able to vote.
And it would have passed.
Well, not necessarily so, as we saw this week.
Are you okay? Let's set this up. First of all, was there a local developer that's behind this?
Yeah, it's Alberto Moore.
Okay, we know Alberto Moore. Yes,
yeah, and he's had this piece of property, and with the downturn in the economy, he's been waiting, and now we have an opportunity to create jobs, increase our tax base, and improve the county of Catalina. There were no objections from any neighbors. Everything was perfect. And nothing changed from last week to this week. Now, last week, when I was absent, it was a tie vote. Sharon Bronson and Ray Carroll voted yes. Mm-hmm. Ramon Valadez and Richard Elias voted no.
Just so that we can understand the lay of the land here, Ramon and Elias
voted no.
Kind of lean to the left.
That's correct, yeah.
And then Ray Carroll and
Sharon Bronson
lean to the right.
Yeah. I mean, they're, usually will vote pro-development.
All right.
Yeah.
So we had the Supreme Court was divided last week.
Right. It was. And when you have a tie vote, what happens when you have a tie vote on a rezoning, it automatically goes to the next agenda. Mm-hmm. And so when I went into the meeting yesterday, there was absolutely no change. There was no one in speaking out. There was no change in the staff report, no change in the data. So it was the identical information that we were voting on. And then this week, when I came in, I started to make the motion to approve it because I believed in it, because it's a good development. We need jobs in Pima County.
You laid it out beautifully. If you want to see it, go to 1041thetruth.com, hit my Facebook page. I have it up there on YouTube. You laid out your argument beautifully. Jobs, it's a job creator. It's going to create expand the tax base. This is all beautiful things for the county.
And it's going to improve the town of Catalina, which has a great need for development out there. And so I laid it out, and as I started to make the motion to approve it, Ray Carroll gets up and leaves, and Ramon Valadez follows him off the dais. Yeah, you can see it right on the video. Right. And then pretty soon Richard Elias goes.
They all get up and they walk out, and you address this. Where are they going?
I did address to Sharon Bronson, I would like to make note, because you are supposed to make note when anyone leaves the dais when you're discussing a vote. And I said, like to make note that these people have left the dais. And she said, okay.
Where did they go?
Yeah, they went behind the wall. And
What?
what happened back there, I don't know what they did back
Wait a
there.
minute. No, they went behind the wall.
Yep, there's a wall back where we go back to the executive session room. They were back there.
All three of them
All three of them.
together.
Yes. Yes, and this begs the question, what happened back there? And
What
then
happened behind the wall?
I do not know.
Behind the wall, what happened?
I'd like to know what happened behind the wall. All I know
What's going on behind the wall?
when it is so inappropriate, and especially when you're in the middle of making a motion, and there's a developer who's invested thousands
He's
of
sitting there.
dollars. And he was not there, but
Okay.
his representatives were. They've invested thousands of dollars in this project. They work very hard. It's been since 2006 that they've been sitting on this land because of the downturn in the economy. We have an opportunity to create jobs and increase our economic base. And so what do? They come back from behind the wall, quickly sit down, and Sharon calls for the roll call vote. Sharon votes yes. I vote yes. Ramon votes no, as he did the previous week. Richard votes no, as he did the previous week. And Ray Carroll changes his vote to no. From the previous week, he voted yes, with absolutely no change in the information. There was no new speakers, no new data, nothing. It was
Ellie Miller,
identical.
you were caught off guard in that, and you questioned it. They kind of shut you down on this, and you said, "Is this thing dead or is it over?" Boom, and she's like, "Yeah, it's dead." Next,
Yeah. I when you call the question, and Sharon's style is a little different than Ramon's, and Ramon was the chair last year. When you call the question, you can no longer add any comments. I would have liked to have asked Ray Carroll why he
well, he
changed his
started
vote.
to like give a explanation. And then the tape ran out. Did he finish it?
No, he
Why
did
did Ray Carroll change his? Why did Ray Carroll pull a John Roberts? This was right out of the Supreme Court. He pulled a John Roberts on the vote.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
What is this? Republicans voting with the... Why?
And I don't even understand. I take Richard and Ramon to task. We need jobs in this town. These are people in South Tucson that work construction jobs.
We had Richard Elias marching in front of McDonald's
Yes.
for a $15 wage. He's lost cause. He's a lost cause. What people need to do in his district is wake the hell up and vote him the hell out.
Yeah.
Okay? They're lost cause. I want to know what was going on with John Roberts, the Republican.
Yeah, with Ray Carroll.
Yeah, Ray Carroll.
Yeah. Yeah, why did he change his vote so dramatically? And he did not answer it because Sharon had called the question. And once you call the question,
didn't have to.
You can no longer have any discussion.
Well-
and I will make sure that I get my comments in from now on, but I'm not used to that
I
style.
got questions. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can answer these questions, but does Carroll or somebody have a beef with the developer? No, how could he? Because last week he voted for it. Wait a minute. When you showed up, because if you would have called in last week, do you think he would have still changed his vote?
I have no idea. I mean, it was obvious when I showed up this week he changed his vote.
I got questions you can't ask. I want to know what's the relationship between Carroll and the developer. Is there bad blood there? I mean, they're both
I don't-
like lifers.
I don't know if there's some bad blood there. There could possibly be. I know it is a message being sent, and what the message is, I don't know. See, I'm
gets
not
back
that
to-
petty.
This goes back to that whole cabal crap I was talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me back up. How does Ray Carroll's no vote serve the community?
That's the end of the day. This was my point. It's not about me. It's not about Alberto. It's not about Ray Carroll. It's about Pima County and the well-being of this community, the
No,
taxpayers,
you're
the
wrong,
developers.
Allie Miller. It's about the cabal.
I know it is.
It's about the
Yeah.
cabal.
And that's the thing that people need to wake up and start understanding. And when it comes 2016, they need to remember this vote. And I
Now-
will remind them of this vote and vote after vote, because when you start playing personal games and personal vendettas.
Let's give Supervisor Ray Carroll the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to say it was personal games. I'm not going to say it was a vendetta. I just want to know why the hell he changed his vote.
I do too.
I just want you can contact me 751-1041. Talk to Stacy.
Yeah.
This is Miller time. It's not Carol time. Talk to Stacy. Give us you can email me jharris@jrn.com. Call somebody. Maybe tell Emil Franzi. Maybe in his next rant against you, he could talk about why Ray Carroll changed his vote.
Yeah, he needs to do that. And the thing of it is, we as supervisors, we owe that to the taxpayers. We should explain every vote.
No, do they owe it to the taxpayer, Allie Miller? Do they owe it to the cabal?
Yeah, that's it. It's about the cabal. The cabal knows the reason. But unfortunately, the taxpayers and the people who are paying for all this don't know the reason. And what's going to end up happening with our tax base shrinking? Guess what? If we don't cut spending, taxes are going to continue to rise. They want to pass a bond. Right?
Oh.
They want to pass a huge bond. How are we going to pass bonds when we can't even get developers?
Wait, what do you mean bonds? We're in debt still, aren't we?
We're in debt $1.3 billion, and that includes voter and non-voter approved bonds.
Well, what's the bond going to do?
Would they want to do a bond to build a road?
But wait, won't that increase our debt? What about that little slush fund y'all sitting on up in there?
That will
the Huckleberry slush fund.
Yes.
The emergency day, I'll spend it on anything but the roads fund. What about that one?
Right. It will increase our debt, and that when you increase your debt, you increase your secondary property taxes, and you end up having to pay that money back depending on the type of debt. It is a vicious circle, and if we don't allow development to occur, how can we increase our debt? And this is something, in my opinion, that people should be just outraged by.
I am.
Yeah, it is.
There's
It
people
was a
accusing me
very
of yelling and
frustrating.
stuff on the show. So how can you not? What are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the way it is. This is the way it always has been.
mellow out and
These
let
people
it
been
be.
on the board forever. They know what they're doing. We're just broke as hell. The roads are all tore up. But speaking of roads being tore up, I got a story that I'm sitting on right now, my friends. I think Arizona Daily Independent has it. But we're out of time. Allie Miller.
Thank you.
We just get warmed up, girl.
We're just getting going. We got a whole lot more material to
See
cover.
you next week.
Yes, you will.
Ladies
Thank
and
you very
gentlemen,
much.
Supervisor, Pima County Supervisor Allie. They mad at you, girl. I bet you they mad at you today.
Well, you know what? If you don't allow me to speak in the meetings, and if you don't allow the answers to come out, I'm going to be getting it out to the public.
Well,
one way
even
or
if
the
that
other.
does happen, come on in here and tell us what's going on.
Oh, I plan to do that.
My friends, you are listening to 104.1 The Truth. Miller Time.
Thank you.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Just a reminder, my friends, check out my Facebook. Actually, go to 1041thetruth.com. Go to my blog. I have a blog up there asking a very provocative question. It's about Tucson's next $6 million man. And I believe that the Arizona Daily Independent will have the scoop tomorrow. It'll be in tomorrow's edition of the Arizona Daily Independent. Gentlemen working for Pima County suing for millions.
That is absurd.
Yes, but unfortunately, not as absurd as this. Hide the children.
Some
Hide the
stories
children!
are hard to believe, but this is real. It just happens to be, well,
That is absurd.
this is the James T. Harris Absurd Story of the Day.
On 104.1 The Truth.
Right talk for Tucson.
Daredevil lover snaps his unit after falling while having relations in a tree.
It is absurd.
Daredevil lover snapped his after falling from a branch while trying to have relations in a tree. The nature lover went out on a limb when he asked his girlfriend for a treetop session.
That is absurd.
The pair, who were only on their third date, started getting busy on a branch. But the half-naked man, known only as Eric, had to move because he was getting a splinter. And their outdoor action ended in disaster when he lost his grip and hurtled down to earth.
It is absurd.
My hand slipped and I came tumbling down. I ended up getting skinned really, really good when I hit the ground. And then I looked down and I saw that my package was broke. Looked like it had sprung a leak.
That is absurd.
Said he was laying on the ground and there was blood on his leg. I was concerned about his penis, his girlfriend said. I was concerned. But about this well-being. I'm
It is
sorry.
absurd.
Thank you, Ross.
To try to cite that. We're talking about people do not have the right to unregulated rights.
Apparently, third date is when you have sex with somebody
I
while falling from a tree.
guess so. Their story is featured in Sex Sent Me to the ER, which will be on the cable show. Remember the 440-pound guy? Yeah. John Justice in the morning, James C. Harris in the afternoon. You are listening to 104.1 The Truth.
Enough is